Welcome to the first year seminar, Forests and Global Sustainability. In this short video, I'll walk you through the course syllabus so that you'll know exactly which topics we'll be covering when throughout the semester and what's going to be expected of you. So here we are on the Course As You Learn page, and I've put the course syllabus right up at the top. I'm going to click on that now. So here's the syllabus. Up at the top, you'll find my contact information. My email is colescj2@appstate.edu. I always love to hear from you by email, so please write to me anytime that you have any questions at all. I'm also available for individual Zoom meetings by appointment, so if you'd like a Zoom meeting, please just write to me and tell me what time is best for you. I won't read through the course description word for word. You can do that on your own. But just to summarize it quickly, there are 3 units in this course. In Unit 1, we take a scientific perspective on forests. In Unit 2, we look at forests in American history. And then in Unit 3, you write a research paper on a topic of your own choosing, which this semester will be something related to coastal forests and sea level rise. The delivery method for this class for this semester will be fully online and asynchronous. So asynchronous means that we'll never have group meetings where everybody is together at exactly the same time, either face-to-face or online. We'll all do the work on our own schedules each week. So in a typical week, here's what you can expect to do. You'll watch a recorded mini lecture, maybe a few other videos. You'll complete some readings on your own, you'll turn in a written assignment, you'll engage in an interaction with a small discussion group, and you'll get to know a plant of the week. The advantage to the asynchronous delivery is that you have a lot of flexibility to get the work done at times of the day and times of the week that are the most convenient for you. Now, one challenge is that because we won't have meetings all together, you really need to be careful to keep on top of all the communications that I send you via class announcements, instructions, and email. This syllabus gives you an overview of the most important things that will happen throughout the semester and due dates. I'll also write to you every Friday, late Friday afternoon probably, with more detailed instructions for the coming week, so that if you want to get started on the next week over the weekend, you'll be able to do that. Again, emphasizing the need for communication and especially how much I like to use email. I'll occasionally email individual students with something that's important for you personally. So please be sure to check your email frequently. For example, one thing that happens pretty often is that a student will upload an incorrect file for an assignment. For example, maybe they'll accidentally upload an assignment for a different class instead of the one for mine. If something like that happens, I'll send you an email to warn you about the problem and give you a chance to resubmit the correct file. But if you weren't checking your email, you might miss my warning and end up not getting credit for an assignment which you should have gotten credit for. Again, I always appreciate it when you email me with questions. Every question is a good question, and usually if one student has a question about something, there are often some others out there who are wondering the same thing, and it helps me to keep in touch with anything that I might need to communicate with the whole class about more effectively. For most of your written assignments that you upload to As You Learn, I will give you written feedback that comes to you through As You Learn. There's a specific way that you find my comments, and once you know how to do it and you've done it once, it's pretty easy, but sometimes it's a little tricky the first time. So what I'm going to do is take you back to As You Learn and show you how to find my feedback on your work. So first of all, let me switch my screen to a student view. And now the screen should look more or less the way that your As You Learn page looks. So you come over to where it says Assignments, you click on that, and then once I've given you more assignments throughout the semester. There'll be a whole list of different assignments here. For right now, there's just one. So imagine that you were looking for the feedback on assignment 1. You click on that. It takes you to a page like this. And what you need to do now is just scroll around until you find the comments. Students have mentioned to me that depending on their device, depending on what their screen looks like, the comments can appear in slightly different places, but they will be there. So if you have any trouble finding my feedback, please let me know right away in week 1 or in week 2, because throughout the semester, you're really going to need to get my feedback on your work in order to know what to do for the class. Okay, materials for the class. You don't need to purchase anything for this class. All the required readings and videos and so forth will be available through links on As You Learn. Written and creative work. Okay, you'll have 10 short written assignments, 5 in Unit 1 and 5 in Unit 2. For each of the units, you can drop your lowest grade, resulting in 8 grades that will count. There'll be 2 exams in the course, one for Unit 1 and one for Unit 2. These will be open book and untimed, and I encourage you to work together with friends. Because our class doesn't meet together as a group, anything you can do to reach out to other students, to form study groups, to find a study partner who you get along with, all of that will really help you to succeed in this course. So I hope that by letting you collaborate on the exam, that'll encourage you to reach out to some people and find some people who you can give support to and get support from throughout the semester. Okay, Unit 3, research projects. Each of you will complete an individual research project for Unit 3. And I'll tell you more about those once we get to Unit 3. But I want to just, as a footnote right now, mention that it's at this point that we'll work with the online modules that are put up by the university library. You may have noticed these listed as a separate course on your As You Learn page, and perhaps you've already gotten a message from the librarian. Perhaps you will get a message from the librarian soon about those. So the modules introduce you to some of the library's resources, how to do searches in their online databases, how to find things physically in the library, and some really good tips about the research process, like how to identify good information resources and so forth. And I'll start working with those with you on purpose in Unit 3. If any of you want to go ahead and start doing them on your own early in the semester, you're certainly welcome to do that. They're set up so that you can work through them independently if you want to. Okay, so kind of side by side with the research project, you'll also complete a creative project. And your creative project can either be on the same topic as the research work or something completely different. The idea with the creative project is that you'll use a medium such as painting or poetry or photography, to come up with sort of an artistic representation of something in the class that's important to you. And I think that students really enjoyed this last semester, came up with some really beautiful and interesting projects. Okay, and then the final written requirement will be 2 500-word reports on university events related to the Common Reading, which is the book Rising: Dispatches from the New American Shore by Elizabeth Rush. There's a section on As You Learn where I'll post links for events that are approved for this requirement, and there'll also be a place where you can upload your reports there. Let me just take you back to As You Learn and show you where that is. So, let's see, back to here. So here, this section here called Common Reading Resources and Assignments, I've actually uploaded some links from last semester, all events of interest for this course, and there should be more events coming this semester too. Okay, small discussion groups. Starting in the second week, I'm going to organize you into smaller discussion groups of 5 to 6 students. You'll stay in the same group all semester, and each week You'll have some kind of group interaction, such as a discussion or an exchange of videos, that kind of thing. I hope this will give you the chance to get to know a few of your fellow students a little bit better, to find support from each other, and to have some of the sort of interplay between people that we would otherwise be getting in the face-to-face classroom. Okay, next section, late work. So this is especially important for this semester in case people, run into any sort of emergency or hurdles relating to the pandemic. I've listed due dates throughout the syllabus for all of the work. These due dates are highly recommended. If you're able to keep up with them, that should ensure that you really succeed in my class. But on account of the pandemic, this semester I am accepting late written work with no penalty, as long as you keep in touch with me about what's going on with you. So if you see a due date coming up for something, you realize you're not going to be able to get it done, please just send me an email and let me know your plan for when you do intend to complete that work, just so that I know what's going on with you. You don't need to tell me about your health situation or your family emergencies. Much of that is confidential, but just keep in touch with me about when you plan to get the work done. For the 2 exams, if you submit those over a week late, you might need to complete an alternate exam form if I've already posted the answer key to the original on As You Learn, so please contact me if you're going to do the exams more than a week late. Then for the group interactions with your small discussion groups, those need to be done the week that they're listed on the syllabus, and you will lose 10 points if those don't get done on time. However, in the case of an emergency, if something is ongoing, you start losing a lot of points because you missed the interactions. Communicate with me about that, and we can find a different way for you to make up the points that you've lost. Okay, grading. So I encourage you to keep track of your grade as the semester goes on. By the time the semester is over, 1,000 points will be possible. So that's how many points there are for the class in total, not counting extra credit. And that's 200 points from short written assignments, 200 points for the 2 exams, 150 points for your interactions, 300 points for the research project, 50 points for the common reading event reports, 100 points for your creative project, and up to 50 points of extra credit. I'll be giving you some little extra credit quizzes from one week to the next if you want to earn a few extra credit points on those. You're also welcome to propose extra credit points to me if there's something you really want to do on your own connected to the class, to just kind of tailor it to your own interests. I always welcome that. And then this table here tells you how many points you need to obtain to earn your desired grade. Okay, the next section are policies that are common to all of your classes at the university, so these are probably familiar to you from last semester. I'm happy to work with any student who has disabilities, who needs special accommodations in my class. You begin to request those by contacting the Office of Disability Resources. Their contact information is here. Once you're in touch with them and they're in touch with me, I'm very happy to work with you for whatever you need to succeed in the course. Academic integrity code, is basically about not cheating, being honest in your work. At a later point in the class, we'll talk quite a bit about plagiarism and how to avoid plagiarism in your academic work, and that'll be one of the things that we do in first year seminar to be sure that you understand what that academic integrity code means. Student engagement with courses basically tells you how many hours of work you should expect to do for each class. And just to sum it up, I designed the class so that it should take you in total about 9 to 12 hours per week. Okay, first year seminar is a special class with special purposes, and this paragraph tells you what some of those special goals of FYS are. Thinking critically and creatively, communicating effectively, making local to global connections, and understanding the responsibilities of community membership. FYS also gives you what we call transferable skills, which are skills that should serve you well in your future university classes too. And these are things like knowing how to do effective searches in the library databases, knowing how to identify and use good information resources, continuing to develop your writing skills to be able to write a professional-looking research paper, these kinds of things, knowing how to look at a topic from interdisciplinary perspectives. Now, I won't go through the whole class schedule in this video, but you're welcome to read it on your own. It gives you an overview of the whole semester. So Unit 1, Science Basics, will be 5 weeks. And, typical, let's look at week 2 for sort of a typical week once we're through the introduction in week 1. So for week 2, for example, the topic is photosynthesis, climate, and water. You'll watch a short recorded lecture by me. You'll do some readings from different websites that post good articles about the topic. And then by 6 p.m. on Friday, that's when your own work is due. So by the end of Friday afternoon, you'll upload a written assignment. And by that point, your discussion with your discussion group needs to be completed. So exactly how you organize all of that work throughout the week is really up to you, as long as everything is done by the end of the afternoon on Friday. And then for my part, around the time that students will be getting all of that work in on Friday afternoon, I'll be posting the instructions for the following week, so you'll know in detail if you want to get started on the weekend, what's expected for the week ahead, or you can just wait until Monday and look at the instructions then. Okay, so exam for Unit 1 due Monday, February the 22nd. Then we get to Unit 2, the History Unit, 5 weeks for that. Exam on March 29th. And then Unit 3, when you do your research project on global forest conservation, and that lasts up through finals week. Then at the end of the syllabus is a list of readings, and these will be almost all of the readings that you do for this semester. Once in a while I find something in current events in the news right now that I add, that isn't on this list yet because it hasn't been published yet, but these will be most of the readings for the course. And I leave on the list a few readings from past semesters that I'm not assigning this semester, but if you want to do a little bit of extra reading on your own, I recommend everything that's on this bibliography. So I hope that this short overview of the syllabus has been helpful to you. Again, if you have any questions about the syllabus or whatever else in first week, please write to me right away at the email address here. I look forward to getting to know all of you individually, even though we'll be working from a distance this semester. So just keep in touch with me about how things go. I know that this semester is off to a very tricky start on account of the pandemic, but I really admire all of you for hanging in there in second semester and taking this course. And I look forward to hearing all that I'll learn from you and watching your development over the course of the semester.